He called you a hero for taking his 2 hours on Sunday so he can go with his wife on their honeymoon. Yes, I thought the same thing. Hello, Cassie.
Hello! How are you?
I'm wonderful. How about yourself?
I'm good. You're Michael, right?
I am. Last time I checked, some people call me Miguel, other people call me Michelangelo. Some people think I'm Michael, too cool for school. But I do have a BA in BS, BA Political Science from Duquesne University.
Oh, fantastic.
Yes.
So, I am going to keep this is pretty quick and simple.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask you a couple of questions about you, who you are, how you got started with White Spider, what your role is in the company, and that's pretty much it. The only thing that's going to make it weird for you is instead of it being like a conversation, I'm going to ask that you incorporate my questions into your answers. So if I say, how long have you been with White Spider, you'd say, I've been with my White Spider for a year now, or however long.
I wish I'd been with him that long. My goodness.
How long have you been?
I've been with White Spider since September of this year. It was late September. Yes.
Okay.
I'm still a newbie.
And the reason I'll have you do that, the reason is we're going to cut my voice out of this tape. So it's just going to be you talking.
I'm sorry.
So we want you to make sense on your own.
Well, naturally, yes. And the foot won't be too disturbing because I like to gesticulate with my feet. Did she tell you I have no arms?
She did, but she did tell me that. And she didn't tell me how though, what happened?
Well, I was born in Russia, St. Petersburg. You've heard of the Chernobyl nuclear disaster? Well, my mom was pregnant at the time with me, and I was born without any arms. Now, call me crazy, but I think I got very lucky because I see you using your arms, but I've never had the feeling of using any arms. So I don't really know what I'm missing. Whereas if you lost your arms, you would have to call me ASAP and say, Michael, how do I use my feet? And I've used my feet as you use your hands from day one. I ride a bike. I've actually biked over 2,600 miles this year alone. If you want, I can send you some links to my videos. I'll send you the one, Inspiration on Wheels. I cut my own hair. I clip my cat's claws. I cook. I basically do everything that you do. I do myself. And I type on my keyboard with my MacBook Pro. And in the video Inspiration on Wheels, I was actually interviewed by the Pittsburgh Post-Gazette. And at that time, I was working for Sprint from home. So I've had a very good streak of finding really good jobs from home.
Good for you.
Thank you.
Working from home is fantastic. So
yes.
Good for you. And I think Mel was telling me too that you type faster than she does.
Yeah, she says I type faster than 10 men.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Okay, so the first thing I want you to do for us is I want you to give us a little introduction. So you're going to say first name, last name, and then tell us what your role is at White Spider, what your job title is.
Okay. Well, I'm Michael Trimble. I have been with White Spider since September of this year. I absolutely love the job. I am the reservation agent. So I oversee all the emails that come into the inbox. So I approve reservations. I decline reservations. Most of the reason we decline reservations is because you'll have 4 people wanting to stay in a house that fits 16. And we're like, no, not so fast. But we're very courteous. We're very customer driven. We want them to be happy. I answer any questions they have. I also deal with emergencies if they lock themselves out, if the heat's not working, if the cooling is not working, if the neighbors up above them are being too loud, if they have a hard time finding a parking spot, if they need suggestions for where to go to eat, what to do. Basically, I am the face of White Spider, and Mel has created a very gender-neutral role called Sam that we all embody. And so the guests don't know that they may be talking to Cameron, who works in the morning, as Sam, but they're talking to me in the evening as Michael, but I am as Sam. And we just want to have seamless transition, so the guests don't know that there's two different people working, but we want them to focus on their vacation while we focus on their worries.
Wow. So are you the one? Because I've heard I talked to Deja earlier, and Deja was telling me sometimes there's emergencies that are sometimes emergencies and sometimes not so emergency. Are you the person that's getting those first emergency calls?
Oh yes, we do take calls. I would say 95% of our work is done through email. So we use a platform called Guesty, which is absolutely phenomenal. When Guesty goes down, we actually have to log into every Airbnb account individually so we can answer emails. Yes, when Guesty goes down, let me tell you, the wind picks up like it's been in Portland, windy and cold. Guesty rarely goes down, but technology is not perfect. But we use Guesty, and we respond. Our goal is to respond within an hour of receiving the email, but most of us respond within 15 minutes. And we try to answer their questions. We don't want to leave them hanging because we want them to focus on their vacation. Because some of these guests are paying really, really good money to stay with us.
And so, does it ever get stressful for you getting the emergencies or reservations? Is there any part of it that's stressful for you?
No. Before this job, last year I was working for Uber from home. So, and that was an all email job, and most of the drivers, their first language was not English. Their second language was not English. Neither was their third language English. So they would write in saying, "My fare wrong." And I'm like, well, please do tell us how your fare is wrong, because I can't read your mind. So I'm very used to it. I have done customer service jobs over the phone where people are screaming at me. I'm one of the people that actually starts laughing at these people when they're screaming at me because they're so upset, whereas other people, I get stressed out by it. I just find it very funny. I don't know why, but I don't really let that get to me. The only thing that I would say is stressful is because there's so much involved in this job. There's just a lot of information we just don't know, and we don't have Mel's years of expertise experience being able to see, well, do we approve this reservation or not? So it's just not knowing, but Mel is fantastic. She makes sure we have all the information. We have team meetings at least twice a month. She always provides us awesome food. I mean, it's a really camaraderie, like family atmosphere that she's provided for us.
And okay, so take me back. How did you get started with Mel? How did you guys find each other?
I actually found her ad on Craigslist. Hold on, let me make you my full. Hold on, how can I make you my full thing here? Hold on. Sky. I just got a call, and
did it knock me off?
No, you're still there, but you're all minimized. I'm trying to see how to make you full screen again. Edit view. How on earth do I make you full screen? I may have to do it manually. Let's see here.
You might, if you go up in the, I think it's the right hand corner, there should be like two little arrows that are like, if you click that, does it do it?
No, I'm on a Mac.
Okay.
Let me end the call and call you right back.
Sure.
Okay. Sorry about that. Well, that is just so weird. Huh. There we go, much better. Yeah, sorry about that. Yeah, with a Mac, the programs don't have the minimize and plus. And when I got the call, and that's the other thing, we use Macs across the system, and so we're connected to all of the accounts, and so whatever happens on one, we get notifications on the other. I mean, the seamlessness that Mel has helped us create is amazing, really, really amazing. What was your question before I got that call?
I wonder how you got started with Mel.
Oh, I saw an ad on Craigslist for a work from home position, and I was like, well, this is exactly what I want. I responded to her, and she responded back saying, oh, oops, Michael, this went to my spam folder. Thankfully, I checked it, and she loved my response. She liked how detail-oriented I was, how I gave her so much information in a very concise manner. And then she asked me if I would be interested in an interview. I said, of course. So I went to her home, we interviewed, and actually the very first day was kind of like training per se, because she was training other people, and she was looking for people that could pick this stuff up, but also were very customer aware and friendly. And she says, my interaction with customers is above bar none. I'm able to talk to them in such a way that they feel that they're valid. They're not just another, notch in the belt, as the saying goes.
Mhm. Okay. And what is your what? So take me back. How did you get started? What's your background? I know you did a lot of customer service. How did you get started in that realm?
Well, not having arms limits me what I can do job-wise. Obviously, I'm not lifting anything over 5 pounds. I'm not going to be in construction. I'm not going to be serving you a filet mignon at Bruce Steakhouse. You would probably attack me with a knife if I served you with my foot. You'd be like, what? So I've done a lot of customer service. I'm very good with talking with people. I'm very good with relating with people. I do have a bachelor's in political science, which I received from Duquesne University in 2009. I wanted to go into politics, but in order to go into politics, you have to know people and you have to have money, money, money by the name. And so I've done customer service. I worked for Sprint. I worked for H&R Block. I worked for Frontier, Dish Network. I've had many, many years.
And how long have you been in Portland? What brought you to Portland?
Oh, well, that was an interesting story. I was living in Pittsburgh for almost 12, 15 years, and this is where I was working from home for Sprint. And my friend in Arizona asked me if I wanted to move because there was a house that was renting at a really good rate, and I was like, sure, why not? But unfortunately, Yuma, if you want to experience what hell is like, go to Yuma, Arizona. It is hotter than Donald Trump is grumpy, okay? I mean, it is hot. At 9 o'clock in the morning, it's 99 degrees. I mean, it's too miserable. And so I was looking for another way out, and this Mormon minister reached out to me and asked me how I'd like to move to Portland, and I heard that Portland was very bike-friendly, because I love to bike, and I was like, sure, why not? So I moved to Portland on June 14 of 2015, I believe. Yes, yeah, I've been here about a year. Absolutely love it. I do not like the rain. Everyone keeps telling me I moved to the wrong city because it rains and rains and rains. But, you can't get everything you want. But the fact that Portland is so bike-friendly, it's really a biker's paradise. If you're ever in Portland, Cassie, you've got to try out Portland.
I've heard it's the biker city. Like, that is, like, if you bicycle, like, that's where you go.
Oh, yes. There's actually quite a lot of protests right now going on because the city is converting some of the 4-lane roads into bike lanes. So they're going from 4 lanes to 2 lanes, so there's a bike lane on either side. And people are, whoa, up in arms. And that's when I tell them, well, you do realize this is Portland, not Pittsburgh? Because Pittsburgh, where I came from, didn't have any biking really to speak of. Whereas in Portland, I can bike to the movie theater, bike to the store. It's basically your vehicle.
I love that.
Absolutely.
Walk me through, like, what is, like, a typical day for you in terms of, like, with White Spider? Are you on the phone? Are you answering emails all day? Are you just doing reservations? Kind of walk me through, like, what's a work day like for you?
Well, what I do first is I check all the Airbnb accounts to make sure we don't have any pending reservations. Because Airbnb gives us 24 hours to respond. Mel wants us to respond within an hour. She is a super host, and she's a super host because, one, she's a super host, she's a super person, she's a super boss, she's super all around. So what I do is I check all the Airbnb accounts. I then check Sub It Up, which is our platform we use to make sure that every reservation has a cleaning scheduled at the end of it. Because in a hotel, they do the cleaning for you, but for Airbnb, we have to do the cleanings ourselves, and we do charge guests cleaning fees. So the home is ready for the next guest, because we'll have a guest checking out at 12 o'clock p.m. The cleaner comes that day, cleans, and then 5 p.m. we have a new guest checking in. So we are all about making sure our homes are occupied by very happy guests, and a clean home is a sure way to do that. After that, I review all of the emails from the previous shift. I read the EOD, which stands for End of Shift Day Report, that the agent before me emails me, so I know what's going on, if I need to do something on my shift, if I need to get in touch with the cleaners because there was an issue going on. Communication is key, and we make sure we do talk to each other very well. And then I just wait for the emails to come in. There isn't a system that just notifies us that we get emails. We have to refresh manually. But all of the emails do come in through Airbnb. Hold on. I am so sorry. I don't know who keeps calling me. Hold on, see here. Skype. Oh, there we go. I just need to click on Skype. Okay, perfect. Um, so what was I saying before that call came in? I don't know why people
So
keep
you were
calling
saying,
me.
so you communicate throughout the day so that you know where to pick up where the people have left
Oh,
off.
absolutely. It's me, Cameron, Mikkel, and Nicole. We're a very tight knit group, and we make sure we know what everything's going on and everything. So after that, I just wait for the emails to come in. It's kind of tends to be a little bit busy between 2 and 6 because I work from 2 to 12. I work Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Monday, and I'm off 3 days. I love the shift. Some people think it'd be crazy working 14-hour days, but it works beautifully for me in my schedule. And I usually bike before I log on to my shift. And we just make sure everything is, proper. Usually between 6 and 9, 6 and 10, it kind of tends to just slow down. But, we get emails about reservations into the future. We get questions, about current guests, the light bulb's not working or this or that. So, I mean, we are definitely always doing something. And then during downtimes, what Mel has me do is make sure all the reservations do have cleaners because sometimes, these things do slip through cracks. She'll have me do special projects like renewing the templates or something. I mean, I'm always busy.
What is your favorite part of your job?
Working from home.
What's the hardest part?
I guess it's just not knowing. There's so much to know about this job, and just not having the expertise, experience that Mel has. And we do reach out to her, but the goal is that we're supposed to work on our own so she can focus on getting other clients, other homes, and just not knowing. I guess that's the most stressful because there isn't like a database we can go to and say, oh, well, what do I do? Whereas in other customer service jobs, they had an answer for every question. Whereas this job, a lot of it is very intuition based. It's very like think with your gut, as you say. There are rules, but every rule can be bended depending on certain situations, and just not knowing when that situation is. So the best thing about working from home is about this job is working from home, being with my cat all day long, not having to travel in gusty winds, not having to take a bus an hour each way, and like the hardest part is just not knowing. But as I work this job longer, things will just start falling in. Things will start to click, and you learn. The best training on the job is on the job training. So mistakes will happen. Mel has let us know that. She has let us know that is okay. The important thing is we learn from our mistakes.
She sounds like an incredible boss. Everybody I've talked to has just said such similar things. Like she's so giving and she sets you up for success. I love hearing that.
I mean, she really, really is amazing, and I don't know how she does it because she literally wakes up, I think, like at 4 o'clock in the morning and doesn't go to bed till like 10 p.m., if not later. She is constantly watching the inbox, so she never misses a thing, and meanwhile, she's dealing with everything else on top of what she's dealing with. I don't know how she does it, but somehow she does it. I mean, she's definitely a superstar. She should write a book on how to multitask on steroids. Because she is just,
I love it.
she's phenomenal.
So what's your personality like? What do you like to do? What do you like? What do you like to do? What's your personal life like?
Well, I love movies. When I go to the movie theater, I'll see 4 or 5 movies in the same day, back to back to back to back. I love biking. Biking is a huge part of my life. I love spending time with my cat. He walks on a leash, believe it or not. And he used to use the toilet, but he stopped using it. Yes. I'll send you a link to that video as well if you want. But yes. But other than that, I don't want to call myself a hermit or a recluse, but I prefer to stay to myself. Like, you're not going to find me at any bars, and I think it is kind of ironic that I'm a Russian and I don't drink. Talk about a pathetic vodka dude, but I just prefer the comfort of my home. I've got a surround sound system, so I watch everything like I'm at the movie theater. I have a 55-inch KTV. I don't know if you can see it over here.
Whoa.
4K.
Nice.
Oh yes, oh yes. I don't play games. Oh yes. I take my entertainment very, very seriously. I'm very good with people, but I just am not social. Like, I don't go out of my way to be like in bars or clubs or stuff like that.
Gotcha. And when did you come to the U.S.?
1991. I was adopted by Christian evangelical parents. What should have been a happy transition in my life ended up being a nightmare. I went from the frying pan via the orphanages because I was shipped to a new orphanage every year that I aged. I never met my biological parents. They gave me up the day I was born. And then I was adopted by them. And I went from the frying pan into the fire. They were very strict. They used Bob Jones University for the homeschooling. And I don't know if you know about Bob Jones, but it is one of the few universities in the country that in 2016 can discriminate based on race. They do not believe in interracial, not multiracial, what is it? Basically two different races being married, black or white, Indian, and because they don't receive any federal public funding, they can discriminate. Oh yes, oh yes, they're one of the few schools in the country that still can discriminate.
Wow.
And so this is the curriculum that I was with. I, of course, rebelled against them. I did not like living with them. I ran away from them. They sent me to two Christian boarding schools, which were even more severe than them. I got kicked out of both of those for supposed behavior problems, you know. And then I began my conquest to enter the juvenile system because I did not want to go back to them. And I believe I became the third child in Pennsylvania history to seek religious refugee asylum protection from his own parents. Yes, it was a very interesting case. People kept telling me, but the home is so beautiful. Your parents are very wealthy. And I'm like, there's more than money and wealth, you know. And so I finally did get into the system. They, of course, fought me tooth and nail, because you know they weren't happy that I was in a secular environment where I wasn't being indoctrinated into the Christian faith. So I've had a very hard life. My childhood should have been much much more pleasant when I came to America, but sadly it wasn't. But you know what they say, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And you know, I've learned from a lot of them, and I think it's made me a better person because of the cruel and just hardships that I went through growing up with them and being in the two Christian boarding schools.
Well, good for you to to have a positive outlook on it and to find the positive in it. You know, I think a lot of people get beaten down or you know they play the why me card. But I love hearing people when they say they weren't dealt the best of luck. But
I was up one of the worst hands you can imagine. I mean, not having arms, even though I've been able to adapt very well. Unlike you, I will for the rest of my life depend on assistance. I cannot live truly on my own. I have to have somebody help me with, you know, cooking. I have to have somebody help me with house cleaning. I have to have somebody help with laundry. I can't really carry much of myself, you know. And like food shopping is a prime example. If you saw me at a store inspecting an apple, you'd be like, dang, this dude is really talented. But then, if you saw me put the apple back, you'd be like, where's the manager? And I'm never shopping here again. So for hygiene purposes, there's just a lot of things I can't do because people don't want, you know, where a foot has been to put their hand. Even though my foot is probably much cleaner than most people's hands, because not having arms, I don't have to shake anyone's hand. And of course, it is really funny. Anytime I meet somebody, the first thing they do is they reach out their hand, and I'm like, well, I'd shake it, but sadly, I don't have one, you know. And then, of course, I tell them about the lawsuit I have going with the U.S. government. It's a serious lawsuit. You're familiar with the Second Amendment? Well, where is my right to bear arms?
I love it.
Oh, thank you. And there are actually people who think I'm really serious. And I'm like, no, I'm joking. And I've actually gotten money from people because they think I need to pay lawyer fees and this and that. And I tell them, I am joking with you. And they're like, no, sweetheart, no, here you are. God bless you. I mean, I'm not going to say no if they're insisting on it. But the fact that 5% of people really think I'm dead serious. And the other thing is, I find it very ironic. Only in Portland, too. Like, I'll be waiting for the bus. And people mistake me for being homeless because I guess they say I don't have any arms. And they try to give me money. I tell them I'm not homeless, and they say, here's $5 anyways. I'm like, okay, sure. I'm not going to say no, but it's very, I mean, Portland is like the capital city of homelessness. I'm not sure if you know about the crisis we have. Homelessness is just crazy because Portland's climate is very nice, even in the wintertime. Right now we're having a very cold spell, but usually it doesn't go below 40 degrees in Portland for the winter. It does rain, but Seattle is even worse. And people's reactions are very interesting. Anytime I go out to eat at a restaurant, I notice that all of the staff will purposely walk by me so they can get a glance at, oh, there's a guy without arms eating. It's not every day you see somebody like me. And I cannot appreciate people's curiosity, but I wish people would be more respectful. Granted, you may not see somebody like me every day, but you don't have to be like people. I'm not kidding you, Cassie. Will be eating and they'll be like this. Like, yes, I mean, people are very, very rude. People ask me all the time, how do I use the bathroom? How do I have sex? And I respond with, is this a question you'd ask your own parents? And they'll be like, no. Well, why are you asking a complete stranger? People are just...
The strangers, they just come up to you and ask you this?
Yes! And the worst part about it is sometimes the parents will tell their kids to ask me the questions.
No.
Yes, yes. I mean, it's simply unreal. And so, of course, the parents get upset with me when I tell the kids I lost my arms in a war. So they go tell the parents, and then the kids come back, what war? And I tell them Vietnam, and then the parents think I'm being ignorant because I told their kids Vietnam. And I tell them, well, you're ignorant for sending them to me in the first place. Yes.
Wow.
So the reactions I get are all over the board. When I'm biking, the reactions are even more. People cannot believe what they're seeing. And it's actually interesting because anytime I'm biking, traffic actually slows down around me because people will take one look and then they'll go back to look at the road and they'll be like, wait a minute, did I just see what I just saw? Because my handlebar comes to my shoulder. So there isn't the handlebar that you would be riding on your bike.
Oh, okay.
And I'll send you the video for that. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, please do.
Absolutely, yes. So, and it's like during the summertime, people love to ride behind me on their bikes because I add a level of safety because people just don't know how to react to seeing a guy without arms biking. People will have flipped out their phones and filmed me. People will say, oh my God, you go dude. People have asked me to sign my signature for them because they can't believe I'm biking. The reactions are very, 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 yes.
Wow, that's interesting. I was gonna say, it made me nervous when you first were saying, people were slowing down because I was like, biking already is a little dangerous. And thinking about people, doing double takes and swerving, I get nervous, when my dad rides his bike every day. He rides 60 miles every day, and every morning I always get nervous. I'm always like, be careful, the traffic, the people. So whenever I think about, people doing like second takes and swerving, it makes me nervous. But if they're slowing down, that's close.
Yes. Well, speaking of dangerous, I was when I moved to Portland, I was biking from day one, but unfortunately I didn't have a helmet. And on June 14, I was biking a road that I usually bike, and for some reason I lost control of the bike, and I fell, and I went into a coma immediately. The hospital told me that the coma I suffered was somebody who falls from a tree pole if they're working on the wires or something like that. So I was in a coma for 9 days. I'm not sure if Mel told you that or not. Yes, and OHSU in Portland, they have no idea how I walked away with no brain damage whatsoever because I did have internal brain bleeding as well.
Wow. Now you have a helmet?
Oh my goodness, yes, here, let me show you. Yes, I learned my lesson. Yep, here's my helmet.
Okay.
And I just put it on like this. It's really easy to put on. Yep. Yeah. And so what I would like to do, and then there's a snap thing over here, and then it's like that, and then I take it up with my teeth, like this. My teeth are basically like a second extension, if you will.
Okay.
But yeah, so what I would like to do is actually lobby Salem, Oregon to mandate helmets for all cyclists, because had I been wearing a helmet, they said that the helmet probably would have cracked in half, but I would not have gone into a coma. Yes.
Wow.
And the ironic thing is, the entire thing was filmed on my GoPro. If you want, I can send you the link to that too. Yes, because the paramedics, they couldn't believe it. They kept saying, "Oh, this guy has no arms." And the funniest thing is, where I had my accident was right outside a marijuana shop, so they all thought I was stoned. I know. I would like to meet.
Well, it sounds like it sounds like you've got somebody looking out for you in terms of, you got a guardian angel or something to come out of that 9-day coma.
Yes.
Zero problems.
Yes, I would like to meet the paramedics because they did a phenomenal job. They really, really did. But of course, they all were like scratching their heads, like, how was this guy riding the bike? Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Okay, and then my last question to you is, what is it about White Spider to you think that makes it stand out from other companies, other Airbnb companies? Do you think it's the attention to detail? Do you think it's the employees? What do you think it is that kind of makes you guys the best?
What makes us stand out from other Airbnb management companies is one word: Mel. She is detail driven. She wants to make sure that customers are happy. She has actually paid out of pocket and lost money to make sure guests are comfortable. I mean, obviously she's in it to make a profit, but she really cares about the people that stay in her homes. She really cares about the people that work for her. She has treated us like family. She's phenomenal. Every time we have a team meeting, she provides us awesome food, and she pays us for the training. She even lets us. She pays us for the Uber rides that we take to get to her house. I mean, she is just a really good boss. She's got a good head on her shoulders. Very detail driven. We are very customer driven. We want to make sure that they're happy. I don't know about other Airbnb companies. Because we are a bit on the pricier side because of the homes we have, but they're very nice. But she's somehow able to juggle it all while being able to make the homeowners happy, while at the same time providing an experience that the guests can afford and enjoy. She's just amazing. I mean, who leads a company really does set the tone, and I really worry about our country for the next 4 years when Mr. Celebrity Apprentice. Yeah, I mean, well, I realized around 9 o'clock p.m. and that Clinton was not going to win. I did all the math, and it's just the tone you set really goes a far way. And she's actually going to be, I don't know if she told you, she's going to be in Salem either next week or the following week because she wants to pass laws that are more Airbnb friendly, because Portland has been cracking down on a lot of her homeowners wrongly. They've been going after transient tax lodges or lodging tax, which, from what I understand, Airbnb does pay for it on behalf of the owners. But Portland is being very, very, very funky.
So Mel is going to try to ease these laws.
Well, she's going to Salem to advocate for Airbnb friendly laws. Yes, and I agree with her. I'm a Democrat. I'm very liberal. But I do agree with her that, if you have two homes, if you want to rent out your other home as an Airbnb home, I think you have every right to. I don't think the city has the right to tell you how to use your own home. Even if you only have your own home, it is your property. You pay property taxes, and you should be able to do with your home as you want, And I don't agree with Airbnb's policies on only allowing us to rent out homes for so many weeks at a time. I think if you have a home, and you don't want to deal with tenants, but you'd rather have Airbnb guests, because it usually is more profitable having Airbnb guests than it is having tenants, because then you have to deal with tenant rights, tenant laws, and all that stuff.
Okay. Perfect. Okay, one more time. Give me your name and what your job title is at White Spider.
My name is Michael Trimble. I am a reservation agent at White Spider, and I've been with the company since September of this year, and I look forward to many, many years to come.
Perfect. All right, you are all done, Michael.
Oh, okay. And then.
Thank you so much.
Oh, absolutely. I'll send you the links to the videos.
What's your email address?
EI 566127 at iCloud.com. I did work for Apple for a month before they laid us off, and I've kept that email.
I love it. So it's EI566127
at iCloud.com. Yes.
Okay, perfect. So I'll shoot you an email.
Okay.
So you have my contact information. Send me videos. Send me link. Whatever you have.
Absolutely.
Send me. I love it.
I would love
stories.
to. Good.
And then so what's going to happen now is I'm talking to. I've got a couple more today and then tomorrow. And I know you guys get really busy right before the holiday. Mel was telling me like you're crazy.
We are swamped right now because we're also dealing with New Orleans and Mardi Gras, and oh my goodness, is that a tempest of a tempest?
So wait, do you handle reservations for New Orleans as well?
Yes, we handle reservations for New Orleans, Portland, Bend. There's one more city I'm forgetting. But Mel has a manager in New Orleans who does most of that herself. But we handle all the emails from the guests and all of that stuff.
Got it. Okay, perfect. So, yes, I know you guys are going to get crazy. So
Mm.
if it doesn't happen next week, because we shut down for the holiday, we shut down end of next week. We go dark for 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's kind of Hollywood. Just honestly, Hollywood just goes dark. It's like everybody in Hollywood goes on vacation the same time. I don't go anywhere, but still. So when if it doesn't happen when you guys, because I know you guys get really busy next week, then it'll be first thing in the new year.
Okay.
We'll loop over, and then Mel will have answers for you guys of what it looks like, what the timeline is, and what we're going to be able to do.
Okay, well, just so you know, I am more than happy to have cameras in my apartment. You can film me, record me, I've actually always wanted to be on a TV show. I'm kind of
Right.
surprised that I haven't been picked up because of my story. It is very unique. I've run into
Yeah.
Ellen DeGeneres. I cannot tell you how many times. I mean, you would think I would be the prime target for her because, I'm young. I've overcome many things. I'm gay. I'm a liberal. I'm everything Ellen is. I don't know what more she wants me to be. So I'm actually absolutely fantastic and thrilled to be on this project. Absolutely. So if you need
Good.
anything,
I love hearing that. Good. Well, maybe we'll get a show, and then Ellen will be calling you.
I'm hoping so. Definitely. Because I don't know how many times I've written to her. I mean, I'm sure she gets a lot of letters. But I mean, I've emailed, written, I've called. So I was like, I guess it's not meant to be. You would think, two fellow brothers and sisters, united in harmony. But and then when Oprah was on the air, I also wrote to her too. Because like, you ever watch a little couple on TLC?
Yes.
They're phenomenal. Like, I would love to have a TV show like that, around me, because a lot of
Yeah.
people who are respectful, I myself don't see myself as an inspiration because I'm kind of used to myself, but a lot of people are very moved the fact that I'm living my life and I'm not like, woe is me and throwing a pity party, that, I've taken the hardships that life has given me and I've run with them. Yes, I have limitations, but I don't let my disability limit me or hold me back.
I love that.
Oh, thank
I
you.
absolutely love it.
Thank
And
you.
I love that you shared your story with me. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
I appreciate you taking the time. I know how busy you guys are, so I appreciate you taking the time to sit down and talk to me and tell me your story. So I will send me your links. I'll email you so you have my contact
Okay.
information. And then I'll loop back over to you probably in the next week or so. If not, then it'll be in the new year. As soon as the new year happens, I'll be writing you guys and telling you what's going on.
Okay, awesome, awesome.
Thank you so much. It was wonderful meeting you, and like I said, I love hearing your story, and I can't wait to hear more.
Oh, thank you, Cassie, for taking the time to interview us. We really
course.
appreciate it.
We'll talk to you soon.
And if I don't talk to you before Christmas, Merry Christmas and have a
Merry
wonderful,
Christmas.
Happy New Year.
Thank you. You too. Talk to you soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, that was fun.